So the Trump administration in a full-on media blitz right now, trying to recreate his image. He's out there quoting the Bible, talking about how we need to take care of the least of us and feed the children, while he literally withheld SNAP funds that fed more than 16 million children. Almost 40% of SNAP recipients are children, so he doesn't give a shit at all. Complete lie. They're pulling out all the stops to try and recreate his image and spin what happened with the government shutdown. Carolyn Leavitt's out there saying that the economy is perfect and that we can't, release job numbers anymore because of the government shutdown, blaming Democrats. We're going to get into that in a minute. So they're purposely hiding job numbers from the American people because they don't want to, release data that would show how abysmal the economy is under Donald Trump. But first, let's look at Donald Trump quoting the Bible. Yes, Donald Trump, who couldn't even pick a Bible verse, a favorite Bible verse out of the Bible when asked, quoting the Bible, talking about how we need to take care of the least of us. Let's take a look.
Thank you. The Bible tells us that one of the measures of any society is how it cares for vulnerable children and orphans. So important, and it's so big in the Bible. So as we make America great again, we are going to protect American children in foster care.
So there you go. Donald Trump pretending to care about the children, pretending to care about the least of us while cutting SNAP, partially funding SNAP. So saying one thing in front of the camera and doing something completely different behind the scenes. That is standard Donald Trump 101. But let's see who Donald Trump really is. The Donald Trump who he's trying to hide right now in his media tour to recreate his image. Let's see what Jeffrey Epstein, the worst person in the world, has to say about Trump, because I can tell you it's not very nice. And if the worst person in the world is saying you're even worse, then that is a bad situation to be in. Take a look at this. So this is an email from Jeffrey Epstein about Donald Trump, and let's see what it has to say. It says, "Recall I told you I have met some very bad people, none as bad as Trump. Not one decent cell in his body." So yes, dangerous. Jeffrey Epstein calling dangerous and the worst person that he's ever met. And this is not the only revelations that have come out with regard to his to these emails that Jeffrey Epstein was writing about Donald Trump. Let's go into all of the other things that he's trying to hide right now, that he's trying to obstruct, that he's doing everything he can to keep from coming out while he's out doing this media tour to recreate his image. Absolutely disgusting and pathetic. Let's take a look at what MSNBC, they break down these other emails that came out about Trump. So this was just one email that I read. There's a few others. Let's take a look.
And Epstein referred to Trump as the dog that hasn't barked. And then in a separate email years later with author Michael Wolff in 2019, Epstein said explicitly that Donald Trump, quote, knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop. And then the Democrats cite another email with Wolff in 2015 where Epstein and Wolff are discussing if they can craft an answer for an upcoming Donald Trump interview. And Wolff sort of suggests that Epstein has leverage over Donald Trump, saying if he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the House, then that gives you valuable PR and political currency.
So there you go. Donald Trump knew what was going on with Jeffrey Epstein. He knew what was going on behind the scenes because of course he knew. I've been through all of the evidence in some of my videos. You can go back and watch them. There is a mountain of evidence to show that they were great friends at one point. Trump invited him to his wedding, for God's sakes. He brought his kids around him. Tons of pictures and video evidence of them together. And so of course he knew. Of course he tries to pretend that he didn't know what was actually going on, and he's trying to obstruct. But why would you try and obstruct? Why are you fighting so hard to keep the evidence from coming out if you didn't know anything about it, if you're innocent? So let's take a look. Let's go even deeper. Let's take a look at Democratic Representative Jasmine Cook breaking down the Trump obstruction. So I'm just trying to break down a picture for you here to show you that this media tour is a joke and Trump is actually a horrible person, but you probably already know that. But Democratic Representative Jasmine Crockett, take a look. She breaks it down even further about Trump's obstruction.
These are all questions that we need answers to, but we can't get them when you're not cooperating. So we don't know what the DOJ has, nor what it is that the DOJ potentially was trying to do. Considering that the president right now is trying to obstruct on some very basics of let's just get a subpoena that says release all the information, I wouldn't be surprised, just like he obstructed the prosecution of one of his henchmen who took $50,000 in taxpayer dollars from undercover officers. I wouldn't be surprised if he sent a message and said, stop investigating. We're done with this. Epstein's dead. I don't want to hear anything else about it.
So there you go. If you didn't need any more evidence, because I can sit here all day and go over Trump's meme coin schemes, crypto schemes, Trump University schemes, his merchandise schemes, his fake Trump Rolex watches. We can go on and on and on about him scamming his supporters and what kind of a con man and liar he is. But the worst is the Jeffrey Epstein connection. And so as you can see here, he's obstructing. He won't let the Epstein files come out. So we know what kind of person Donald Trump really is. But now Carolyn Leavitt is out there telling the American people that we can't release the job numbers anymore. We can't do it. Democrats permanently broke it. So basically she's saying we're going to hide the job numbers so that the American people doesn't know how bad the situation is, how bad the job loss is, how bad the economy is. Take a look at this nonsense.
The Democrats may have permanently damaged the federal statistical system with October CPI and jobs reports likely never being released. And all of that economic data released will be permanently impaired.
Telling the American people that the economy is great and that the jobs numbers will never be accurately reported again. And she's using the government shutdown to blame Democrats that they're never going to release jobs numbers again or accurate statistics again. So basically saying that they're going to hide the information, to never let it come out, and they're going to blame Democrats to make it seem like it's our fault, that they're trying to hide it because the economy is so in shambles, because the jobs numbers are so abysmal under Trump. Is this a good person? Like, he's going around trying to recreate his image when their whole administration is based on lies. Every single thing they do is lies. They're out here trying to hide jobs numbers now. Why would you possibly try and hide jobs numbers if the economy's good? Why would you try and hide jobs numbers to let the American people know what's really going on if you're a good person? You're not a good person. You're hiding. You're making up lies. Of course they can release the statistics. Of course they can. Permanently shut down statistics? That is absurd. There is nothing that could stop the United States government from providing those statistics. Nothing. And they're using the lame excuse that Democrats, because of the shutdown, they're blaming Democrats on this because of the shutdown, that they can't release these statistics. Pure and utter garbage and nonsense. If you believe in fighting for the working class, if you believe in economic justice, if you believe in anti-political corruption and anti-corporate greed, please consider subscribing. It would really help the channel. It would mean a lot. I'm trying to grow the channel and trying to give my perspective on politics. And if you enjoy it, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. See you in the next one.